Hi everyone, my name is Colleen Later with Beacon Health and Fitness, and today I'm doing a mat Pilates video. The goal of Pilates is to strengthen the core, lengthen and strengthen the muscles, and keep you healthy for doing the activities that you love to do. So it's a little bit of injury prevention when you practice Pilates. So we'll be using the mat today. I'll offer modifications for any of the exercises that we do, and let's go ahead and get started. So starting off on the mat, let's go ahead and start with just a little bit of posture check here. So putting the hands on top of the knees, sitting up straight, kind of lengthening out through the crown of the head here. So finding some length between each vertebrae, bringing the crown of the head up. And as you do so, you'll notice that you'll bring the shoulders down. So if you feel like the shoulders are up here, slide them back down. Good. And we can slowly start to articulate the spine a little bit and just round back as if you're pushing your spine towards the wall behind you. Chin comes towards the chest a little bit, and then we'll reset and we'll come back up. Very nice. And we'll come down and come back up and round back down and come back up. Very nice. Let's bring one hand down to the floor. We'll just round the other hand up, kind of lifting up through the hip, coming back and round up and back and round up and back. Good. So we'll bring the legs out, take a little bit of a stretch, hinging forward. Slowly coming up. So coming to a seated position, legs are in front. We'll keep the hands on top of the knees to start. I want you to round the back just like we did when we were seated. Pushing the spine back, bring the chin towards the chest, and then pulling yourself up. Lengthening up through the crown of the head. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. And 3. And 2. And 1. Good. Take a little bit of a rest. Hinge forward. Good, slowly come back. Now keeping the hands behind the knees here, holding yourself up, I want you to hold on, and then I want you to release the hands and feel that engagement in the abdominals. Bring the hands back underneath the knees, and you have a little bit of a rest. You can feel it in the upper body and the shoulders, but not so much the abdominals. So holding on, it's a nice modification. Letting go, there's that engagement. Hold on. That engagement. Hold on, and engagement. Now we'll try that without holding on. We'll bring the arms forward and we'll lean back. Keeping the shoulder blades down. It's a small movement. Remember, you can always keep the hands here for a modification and pull yourself up. You could even try just using one hand. And 2, and 1. Good. Taking the legs forward, releasing that low back a little bit here. Good, so now we'll try that, bringing the feet off the mat. So coming up to kind of a balanced position, hands can be behind the knees here to start. And we'll do the same thing where we'll take the hands away from the knees, hold that balance, and then bring the hands back. Open up. Bring the hands back. You can always do this modified and keep the feet down too for a nice modification. So going back up and out. And out. Relaxing those shoulders if you feel like they're coming up by your ears. Bring the shoulder blades down a little bit. And now we'll hold. Let's try a march. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring both legs down. Widen the feet, hinge forward, kind of releasing in the low back again and stretching out through the hamstrings. So we'll come down to our back for a little bit and then we'll come back to that move where we're balancing. So coming down to your back. Good. And so we'll start with the basic marching move. We'll bring the knee up into tabletop and we'll press it down. Pulling the navel towards the spine. I want you to think about imprinting the low back into the mat. Simple marching. And we'll add the breath to this. So we'll inhale, exhale down. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. So anytime we're bringing the knee into tabletop, we're using the abdominals here. Head and neck are in neutral position. Pulling the navel towards the spine. 2 and 1. Nice. Moving up from here, let's bring the knees up into tabletop. So both knees, you could balance a tray on the knees. And we'll try that. Inhale, exhale. You want to make it a little bit harder, bring the head, neck, shoulders up. If you need to make it a little bit easier, bring head, neck, shoulders down and go back with resting on the floor. Inhale, exhale. So fingertips are kind of reaching towards your heels. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back down. So we'll add on to this. Remember, the modification is to keep the feet down and keep the head, neck, shoulders down will be a nice modification. So we'll start by bringing the knees back into tabletop. We'll inhale both feet down and exhale up. Only taking the feet down as far as you can and keep the low back connected to the mat. So if you start to lower down and you feel the low back pop up and you can't hold it down, bring the knees back. Don't take the feet any lower than you can and keep the low back connected. Inhale, exhale. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take a nice rest. Kind of rock back and forth there a little bit. Very good. So bring the hands back to the side. We'll do a little bit of bridge lifts of the glutes and hamstrings here. We'll tuck the tailbone first, press the feet into the mat, and we'll lift the hips up to the ceiling. So weight is on your shoulder blades. You can feel your shoulder blades kind of opening up on the mat. Ponytail out here. And then inhale at the top. Exhale, slowly roll down. If you could separate the vertebrae one by one and lay it back down on the mat. Good. Inhale. Exhale, slowly come up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, slowly come down. One more time, then we'll add on to this. Inhale. Exhale up. Good. And so from here, we're going to lift the heels up and we'll lower down. So the bridge hasn't changed. We're still in the same position. Weights on the shoulder blades. You can take your hands up to the ceiling here a little bit. And 2 and 1. Now we'll go into a single leg bridge here. So keeping the hips and shoulders right where they are, can you lift one knee up into tabletop and switch? So you're trying to maintain that same distance from the mat with the hips. Bringing that one knee up and up and up. And 2 and 1. Good. Slowly come down. Let's bring the knees back in the tabletop here. Let's inhale. Exhale, round the head, neck, shoulders up. And we're moving into the 100, 1, 0, 0. Lots of ways to start this. We can start in a modified position with head, neck, shoulders down. We can modify it further and keep the feet, head, neck, shoulders down. Arms can hover over the mat. So, modified is down. We'll inhale, exhale, round up, space between your chin and chest, pump the arms. And you can also, we'll change the leg work up here in a little bit. We'll start in this position. So we'll inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good. Inhale, exhale. Let's lengthen those legs out. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Good. Bend the knees. Bring the head, neck, shoulders down. You can cross at the ankles and kind of gently rock back and forth here. Very good. So uncross the legs. Let's take one leg up to the ceiling. We'll inhale, exhale as we come up, and holding that leg, let's lengthen the other leg out. So it's just hovering over the mat. So we'll inhale as we draw that leg close to us, and we'll switch. Exhale as you draw the other leg in. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Good. Both legs up. Slowly round head, neck, shoulders down. Cross at the ankles. Gently rock back and forth. Very good. Good. So bring the feet back down on the floor. Lengthen the legs out. Bring the arms overhead, taking a nice stretch. We're moving on to the roll up. So bring the arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, round head, neck, shoulders up. Reaching forward. Sorry, I gotta scoot back a little bit. Coming back down the same way. Inhale. Exhale, slowly rolling back. And as you're rolling back, kind of feel those shoulder blades round or come down a little bit. Slowly articulating back. Stopping yourself. See kind of where you are in the stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly coming up. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale and stop. Kind of at different intervals here. And check yourself and see where you are. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Good. So now we're going to add on to that. We're going to add a little leg work onto that. So we'll start by bringing one leg up, rounding down. Switch legs. Inhale. Exhale, come up. We'll switch legs and roll down. Switch legs, roll up. Switch and roll down. Switch and roll up. Last time, switch and roll down. Very good. Bend the knees a little bit, kind of rock back and forth. Keep moving out of the camera. Good. Good. So rolling onto our sides, doing a little bit of side work here. Coming all the way down. I want you to bring both legs forward so the hips are stacked, rib cage is stacked, your shoulders are stacked. And we're going to take one leg up with the pointed toe and we'll flex down as if you're closing that gap there. We'll point up and we'll flex down. Opening up and switch down. Open up and switch down. and 3, and 2, and 1. So keeping the leg up, we're going to bend. We'll bring the top toe towards the bottom knee. We'll lengthen out, and we'll sweep up. We'll bend, guide the foot along that bottom leg, lift up, bend, lengthen on that bottom leg, and 2, and 1. So now we'll reverse that. We'll draw the knee in towards the shoulder. We'll lengthen the leg up, flex the foot, take it back. Point the toe, bring the knee in, lengthen up, flex the foot, and take it back. Point. 2 more, just like that. Point. Good. And back. Good. Very good. So coming into the straight line here, stacking the feet, stacking the abs. I want you to flex that bottom foot, so that bottom lengthening out through the Achilles tendon and the calf. We're going to lift the top leg up, and we're going to trace a half circle over that bottom foot. So taking the top toe towards the floor in front of you and the heel towards the floor behind. We're trying to keep the hips stacked, so minimize the rock in the bottom hip and only take the leg down as far as you can, keeping the hips stacked. So you're reaching out through the hip with external rotation and internal rotation. Keeping that bottom foot flex keeps that leg active. So you're actively lengthening out through the Achilles tendon and the calves. And 3, and 2, and 1. Very nice. Good. Stacking the feet again, we'll do a little bit of oblique work here. We're going to lift up both legs and bring it down. You can have the top hand in front, or you can keep the top hand up to the ceiling. It's up to you. So lifting up and lowering down. If you put your hand right here in your waist, you'll feel when the obliques engage to lift the top legs up. Our legs are a heavy muscle group, so it takes a lot from the obliques to lift up. Good. 4, 3, 2, and we'll lift up. We'll do a little bit of a scissor kick here. And 2, and 1. Very good. Carefully come up, and we'll carefully come to the other side. Water here. Okay. Bottom arm lengthened out for the head to rest on, legs forward. So we'll start that where we're going to lift up, flex the foot down. So lengthening out through the top hip. Hips are stacked. Legs are slightly forward. Head and neck in a neutral position here. Good, lengthening the legs out a little bit, so now you're in a little bit more of a straight line. We'll flex that bottom foot here. We'll go ahead and point the top toe to the bottom knee. Shoulder, knee comes towards the shoulder. Up, flex the foot down. In, up, flex it down. And in, up, flex it down. In, up, flex it down. Up, flex it down. Down and up. So now we'll reverse that. We'll take it down, lengthen out, and then come up. Down, lengthen out, come up. Down, lengthen out, come up. Down, lengthen down, come up. One more. Down, lengthen down, come up. Very good. Bring it down. Let's bring the legs, we'll be in that straight line again. Flexing that bottom foot, we'll lift the top leg up, and we'll take the toe towards the floor in front, leaning back, take the heel towards the floor behind you. Trying to stay stacked on your hips, so really minimize that rocking in the hip. If you start to rock too much, don't take the foot down so far to the floor. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit, you can take the hand towards the ceiling. It's a little bit harder to stay balanced on that bottom hip. Good. Nice, lengthening out, getting that movement in the hips, kind of gluing the front of the top of the body to the mat. Good. And 3, and 2, and 1. Good. So a little bit of oblique work here. So we'll lift the legs up and lower down. You can have the hand up to the ceiling here. Lift up and lower down. Lift up, lower down. So bringing your hand right here in the waist, you'll feel the obliques kick in and lift. Good. And lift. Lift. And lift. 2 and 1. Good. Carefully come down. Let's carefully come up. So, sitting back on the heels a little bit, reaching those arms forward. Good. Slowly come up. So coming into a plank position, plank is wonderful. It's working everything from the shoulders all the way down to the knees. And we'll start in a modified position if you're new to the plank. So with the knees down, hands forward, bringing the hips forward as well. Keeping the toes down, you're in a very modified plank. You can challenge yourself a little bit here. We can bring one arm up and switch. And as you're doing so, feel that engagement that happens in the core to keep you steady. So keeping both knees down, one arm goes up, one hand comes down. Good. And switch. Good. We can come down to a bridge. It's a little bit easier on the wrist. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Taking the hips up, bringing the knees up, and holding this position. Can you take your knees towards the floor and then shoot those heels back? Knees go towards the floor. Shoot the heels back. Shoot the heels back. So you have a little bit of a rest, and then you go back. And now we'll just hold this. Head and neck in alignment. Eyes are right on the mat between your hands or between your wrists. Inhale and exhale. Slowly bring the knees down. Sit back on your heels. Take a nice stretch. Good. Slowly coming up. So we'll be in a kneeling position. We'll do a little modified side plank work for the legs. A little bit of oblique action too here. So if you have any issues with the knees, you can fold the mat a little bit, or you can always put a towel underneath the knees as well. So coming into a side position, we'll lengthen out one leg. Bring the arms out to the side. Nice wide wingspan. We'll shift away from that lengthened leg. Take that hand down. So you have the hands are stacked. One hand on the floor, one hand reaching towards the ceiling. We're going to lift up that top leg. And we're going to do a little bit of an oblique crunch here. So we're nice and supported on this side. Hand is driving into the floor. We're going to take the elbow towards the knee, and then we'll lengthen out. Exhale, inhale long. And lengthen out. It's a strong core keeping you balanced on the bottom knee and the bottom hand. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Taking that foot down, coming down to the plank, hands underneath the shoulders, like you could balance a board on your back. Carefully come down, and let's switch sides. So opposite leg out, arms out to the side, drop those shoulder blades down, shift away from that long leg, cartwheel the hand down, underneath the shoulder here, lifting that leg up, and let's inhale, exhale as you come in, inhale, exhale as you're coming together, inhale as you reach away, three, 2, and 1. Good. Slowly come back. Slowly come back to both knees. Sit back on your heels. Walk the hands forward. Coming back to that plank. Hands underneath the knees. This can be modified with the knees down, hips forward, or curl the toes under and come on up. Pushing the spine up to the ceiling. We can rotate the feet a little bit and come into that side arm plank. Remember, you can keep the knee down here, underneath the hip, sorry. For a modification, we'll come back to center. Switch to the other side so I can keep seeing you. Good. Come back to center, knees down, sit back on your heels. Slowly come back up. Coming to a standing position. Feet underneath the hips, take a deep inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that Pilates practice. Hope you feel a little more rejuvenated. Pilates is great to do in the afternoon too. Kind of gives you that breath that you need to get through that afternoon hump. So have a wonderful day, and we'll work out together soon. Thank you.